Hi there. Welcome to the first episode of Explain Simply. Why am I doing this? I'm a very ordinary guy who happens to love his Catholic faith, especially after getting to understand it better. I have many friends, I'm sure you have them too, who don't appreciate the faith, who don't practice it, and probably a few have even stopped practicing. I used to be one of them a long time ago, until someone took the time, patience, and effort to explain the faith to me. You see, the real problem is ignorance. I was telling a friend just the other day that I am a dinosaur when it comes to IT, information technology. But just because I don't know, I didn't learn, wasn't taught how to use it, I cannot say IT is useless. In the same way, those who have not really understood matters of faith should not give up on it, but take time instead to understand it better. What IT does in this world is nothing compared to what faith can do. It gives joy, peace, and hope, something the world needs right now. The first few posts would be interesting to anyone of any belief, religious belief, and for those searching for something to believe in. As I will try to demonstrate the existence of God, His purpose for creating us, and His communication with the human race. Later posts will be devoted to explaining parts of Catholic doctrine, including original sin, the overview of salvation history, church sacraments, and teaching, especially on heaven, hell, purgatory, and grace, etc. And if people are still interested, talks on trying to fulfill our purpose in life. In keeping these sessions brief, I appeal for common sense and an open mind. Here we go. Our first session looks at the proof of God. Does God really exist? Many of you may be familiar with a toy that looks like the back of a hairbrush. Now, I don't have a hairbrush, I don't use one, and I don't have this toy. It's been a long time since I started playing with them. The closest I could find was a whisk, a kitchen utensil. Well, it's got the holes in it, and the idea of the game is the balls, little tiny ball bearings, which lie on the outside, and then by movement of the hand, you try to bring them into the slots, to settle in the slots. They're normally about 3 or 4 balls in. But it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of repeat efforts to get all balls settled in those slots. Because even if you have all but one, in trying to get the last one in, a slight movement, big movement or the other, in trying to get the one in, may unsettle those ones that were already in the slots. It can be very frustrating. Imagine with just 3 or 4 balls, very frustrating. Imagine what are the chances of doing the same with millions. And not only that, getting it right at first go. What am I talking about? We are familiar with the Big Bang Theory, explaining how our solar system developed. Have you ever wondered how the millions of celestial bodies lie suspended or float in position in space? Remember, there was only one Big Bang, only one chance. Using the exact electromagnetic and nuclear forces caused by the blast, together with gravitational pull between the bodies, to lock them into place. It had to be right the first time, one Big Bang. Imagine the fine-tuning involved. What are the chances of balancing millions of bodies at first go? Luck? Anyway, to add further complexity, these celestial bodies seem to have a mind of their own, as in the case of Earth, rotating at 1600 kilometers per hour to give us night and day, together with revolving around the sun at 110,000 kilometers per hour to give us seasons. Yet despite all these internal movements between the different planets and bodies in the universe continues to be balanced. Wow. How? Perhaps really good luck? Stay with me. If there was any life form before the Big Bang, it would have been obliterated by the nuclear forces of the Bang. How then is there life on Earth? How could non-living rock produce even a germ, let alone plant, animal, or human life, which is the highest order of organic life? Common sense together with nature reveal the presence of a super intelligent design. This designer is whom we call God. Let's look at a few other examples of intelligent design. Water. It is a vital element for animal and plant survival. It originates from oceans and is kept fresh by salt and constant movement of tides. However, due to its high salt content, water from the oceans will kill most vegetation and poison those who drink it. Step in the designer. By a process of evaporation, water vapor is extracted from the oceans, leaving the salt behind, and falls as rain on the earth, free from salt, which is then drinkable and useful to vegetation. Scientists date the earth as 4 billion years old. With all the volcanoes, forest fires, and breathing going on since then, all the oxygen should have been depleted long ago and replaced with corresponding increase in carbon dioxide. We should have all been dead. Through the process of photosynthesis, another design, plants are able to absorb the carbon dioxide from the air and release oxygen as a byproduct, constantly replenishing the oxygen we use. Look, there are far more examples of fine-tuning, of design in this world, our own bodies. We look at the eye. Our eye is better than many cameras. We just have to open it. We don't need a battery. We can look straight away into this distance without adjusting focus. We can see in the dark to some extent without a flashlight. And yet, if we look at the camera, which is inferior to the eye, none of the parts juggled or moved in a bag would ever come together without deliberate manipulating of the parts and putting them in the right position to create the camera. Things don't happen by chance. Things are designed. If so much effort is taken with a camera, why do we think the eye just evolved? Take a pack of playing cards, shuffle them and throw them in the air. What are the chances of them falling in sequential order? Very unlikely, unless you take them and separate them. We look at the heart, the lungs, the arteries, the veins, the intestines, the reproductive system, the waste system. They all works of design. Intricate design. The skin doesn't let water in, but it lets sweat out. Look, I want to keep this segments short. I'll end there. But I hope you get the idea that none of the above would make sense without the presence of an infinite and mighty God. Our next segment will look at why humans with minds of their own appear to be at odds with the rest of creation. What was God thinking? Why did He create us? What, therefore, is our purpose in life? Stay tuned to have this all explained simply. God bless you all and stay safe.